In the year 2149, humanity had stretched its boundaries beyond the cradle of Earth, reaching out into the cosmos in search of new homes and new beginnings. One of these new frontiers was the remote colony on planet Xerxes, a verdant world orbiting a quiet star in the outer sectors of the galaxy. The settlers of Xerxes, a mix of scientists, engineers, and families, had come seeking a peaceful existence far from the crowded and resource-depleted Earth. They had established a small, thriving community amidst the rolling hills and thick forests of the planet, their life a delicate balance of advanced technology and the raw, untamed nature of their new home. The tranquility of the colony was disrupted one evening as a bright streak tore across the sky. It was not a shooting star, as young Eli first thought while watching from his bedroom window, but something much larger. The ground trembled, and the sound of a distant crash echoed through the valley. Eli, wide-eyed and curious, pressed his face against the glass, his heart racing with excitement and fear. As the initial shock wore off, the community sprung into action. Emergency meetings were convened as the colonists tried to understand what had happened. Initial sensor readings indicated that an unidentified object had made a forced landing, or more accurately a crash, in the dense forest a few kilometers from the settlement. The news spread like wildfire, igniting a storm of speculation and fear among the colonists. What was it? Where did it come from? But most importantly, was it a threat? The following morning, under the pale light of Xerxes' twin moons still visible in the dawn sky, a group of armed scouts, along with a few brave volunteers, set out towards the crash site. They left behind a community buzzing with anxiety, everyone imagining what kind of horrors might have come crashing down into their lives. Meanwhile, Eli, who had always felt more at home wandering the forests than sitting in school, felt a strange pull towards the unknown visitor. While the adults were consumed with fear and planning, Eli saw an opportunity for the kind of adventure he had always dreamed of. He knew the forests better than most, having spent countless hours exploring its secrets and wonders. Without telling his parents, Eli grabbed his backpack, stuffed it with supplies, water, some food, a basic first aid kit, and his favorite binoculars. He slipped out of his house, taking advantage of the chaos as everyone's attention was focused on the direction of the crash site. He headed in a slightly different direction, planning to circle around and approach the site from another angle, away from where the scouts were headed. As he moved through the familiar paths, the forest seemed different to him that day. The usually comforting sounds of rustling leaves and distant animal calls were now overshadowed by a profound silence, as if the very nature itself was holding its breath. After what felt like hours of hiking through dense underbrush and navigating his way through the natural maze of towering trees and thick bushes, Eli finally saw it. The creature was nothing like he had expected. It was enormous, easily the size of their community center, with parts of its body still smoldering from the crash. It lay among the wreckage of what looked like a ship, its hull twisted and broken. But it was the creature's appearance that caught Eli's breath. It had shimmering scales that seemed to change color slightly as it breathed, long limbs ending in delicate, hand-like structures, and a head that was noble and terrifying all at once, with eyes that shimmered with a deep intelligence. Eli felt no fear, only wonder. As he stepped closer, the creature stirred, its eyes focusing on him. In that moment, Eli felt a connection, an unspoken understanding that passed between them. He knew instinctively that this creature was no monster, despite its fearsome appearance. It was just another lost soul, far from home, scared and possibly hurt. Eli remained motionless, his heart thudding in his chest as he watched the creature's large eyes blink slowly, assessing him. The air between them was filled with a palpable sense of curiosity rather than fear. Drawing on a courage he didn't know he possessed, Eli took a cautious step forward, his hand outstretched in a gesture of peace. The creature's response was a low hum, a sound that vibrated through the air, soothing yet full of depth. Gently, the creature lifted one of its limbs, mirroring Eli's gesture. The limb was slender and ended in several fine, articulated extensions that reminded Eli of fingers. They shimmered under the morning sun, casting prismatic colors on the forest floor. As the limb moved closer, Eli felt a rush of excitement mixed with a profound sense of trust. He allowed the creature's fingers to touch his hand, a touch that was surprisingly warm and gentle. The contact was like nothing Eli had ever experienced. It was as if a wave of emotions, none of them his own, washed over him. Images flashed in his mind, starry skies over unknown worlds, vast oceans, and strange, beautiful landscapes. It took Eli a moment to realize these were not his memories, but those of the creature. It was communicating with him, sharing its experiences, its fears, and its loneliness. Realizing that the creature meant no harm, Eli smiled and relaxed slightly. "Orion," he whispered, the name coming to him out of nowhere but feeling utterly right. The creature, Orion, hummed again, the sound more melodic this time, as if it approved of the name. For the next few hours, Eli and Orion communicated through a mixture of simple gestures, touches, and the exchange of vivid emotional images. Eli learned that Orion had been traveling through the galaxy, a researcher of sorts from a distant planet, when an unexpected meteor storm had damaged its ship, causing it to crash on Xerxes. Injured and unable to repair the ship on its own, Orion had been stranded, helpless and alone, until Eli had found it. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Eli knew he needed to return to the colony soon, but he couldn't bear the thought of leaving Orion alone and vulnerable. Before he left, he rummaged through his backpack and pulled out some of the food he had brought, offering it to Orion. The creature examined the food curiously but gently pushed it back towards Eli. It seemed that Orion did not eat the same food as humans. Understanding the creature might need other kinds of assistance, Eli promised Orion he would come back. "I'll help you," he said firmly, feeling a bond of friendship already forming between them. "I'll bring things to help fix your ship." Orion's eyes shone with what Eli interpreted as gratitude, and as he turned to leave, the creature emitted a series of soft, colorful lights, a beautiful, silent farewell for now. Eli made his way back to the colony, his mind racing with plans and questions. He knew he had to be careful about whom he told of Orion. Not everyone would understand or accept a creature like Orion, especially with the fear and suspicion that had spread among the colonists. But he also knew he couldn't keep Orion a secret forever. He needed to find allies, those who would understand and support his new friend. As he approached the edge of the forest, the voices of the colony reaching his ears once again, Eli felt a resolve hardening within him. He would protect Orion no matter what. He would show everyone that what they saw as a beast was truly a friend. Eli spent the rest of the day in a restless state, going through the motions of his daily routines while his mind was occupied with thoughts of Orion. He knew he needed a plan to help Orion repair his ship and secure his safety, and that would require materials, tools, and, most importantly, the knowledge to assist in the repairs. The scale of the task was daunting, but Eli felt an unwavering commitment to his new friend. That evening, under the guise of completing a school project, Eli visited the colony's library. He scrolled through digital archives of engineering databases, starship mechanics, and xenobiology texts, hoping to find information that could help him understand Orion's technology. The more he learned, the more fascinated he became with the advanced science and technology that must have been commonplace in Orion's world. As he researched, Eli made a list of supplies he would need: basic tools, which he could easily borrow from his father's workshop, and more specialized equipment, which he might have to scavenge from the colony's maintenance sectors. He also needed to secure some kind of translation device or program from the communication center, hoping it would help him interact more effectively with Orion. With a plan slowly forming, Eli left the library. On his way home, he stopped by the small communal garden where his friend Mia was tending to the plants. Mia was a year older than Eli and had a keen interest in xenobotany. She was the first person Eli thought of as an ally who could help him understand the biological aspects of Orion's needs. "Hey, Mia," Eli started, trying to sound casual. "I need your help with something big." Mia looked up from her plants, her interest piqued. "What kind of big?" Eli glanced around to make sure no one else was within earshot. "I found something in the forest," he whispered. "Something not from here." Mia wiped her hands on her overalls and stepped closer. "Are you in some kind of trouble?" "No, not exactly. I met someone. A creature from another world. His name is Orion, and he's friendly, Mia, really friendly. But he's hurt and stranded here. Mia's eyes widened with a mixture of astonishment and excitement. You're serious? This isn't one of your pranks? I'm dead serious. I need your help to figure out what kind of environment he needs, what he might eat, and how we can communicate better with him. Mia nodded slowly, her initial shock giving way to scientific curiosity. Okay, I'm in. What do you need from me first? Come with me tomorrow, meet him. Help me make a list of things we can gather to keep him safe and healthy. Deal, Mia agreed, her voice filled with determination. The next day, equipped with a backpack filled with various tools, nutritional supplements from the colony's stores, and a makeshift translating device Eli had managed to cobble together from spare parts, the two friends made their way to Orion's hiding spot. As they approached, Orion recognized Eli and emitted a soft, welcoming glow. Eli introduced Mia, who stood in awe as she observed the magnificent creature. They spent hours together, with Mia taking notes on Orion's physical condition and surroundings while Eli tried to communicate using the translating device. Their initial attempts at communication were clumsy, but gradually improved, as Orion seemed to understand their intent and began to respond through the device. Mia suggested adjustments to the environment around Orion to better suit his physiological needs, such as creating a makeshift shelter that would mimic the humidity and temperature of his native world. As the sun began to set, Eli and Mia prepared to leave, promising Orion they would return soon. They left behind some of the nutritional supplements, which Orion examined curiously. Back at the colony, the reality of their secret weighed heavily on them. They had made significant progress, but the road ahead was still fraught with challenges. They would need to continue their visits, each time learning a little more about Orion and how they could help him survive until they could find a way to repair his ship. The bond between the three, a young boy, a budding xenobotanist, and a stranded alien, grew stronger with each passing day, rooted in trust and a shared goal to bridge their worlds together. As the days passed, the secret of Orion became increasingly difficult for Eli and Mia to keep. Their frequent disappearances into the forest, coupled with their sudden interest in advanced technology and alien biology, did not go unnoticed by the colony's residents. Whispers began to spread, and it wasn't long before some of the colonists grew suspicious of their activities. The community, already tense from the unknown implications of the crash, started to form theories and fears about what the children might have found. Among the most vocal was Captain Merrick, a former military officer who had assumed the role of the colony's security chief. Merrick was a man of action, whose life had been defined by dealing with threats swiftly and decisively. When he caught wind of Eli and Mia's secretive ventures, he saw potential danger in their actions, suspecting that they might inadvertently bring harm to the settlement by interacting with unknown alien entities. Determined to protect the colony, Merrick organized a group of like-minded settlers, forming a scouting party to track down Eli and Mia during one of their forest excursions. Armed and cautious, they followed the well-worn path the children had unknowingly created over their numerous trips to see Orion. Eli and Mia were oblivious to the growing concerns back at the colony as they focused on their mission to help Orion. On this particular day, they had brought with them equipment to help stabilize Orion's life support systems, which they had noticed were failing. The work was delicate and required deep concentration. As they were engrossed in their task, the sudden crackle of dry leaves underfoot alerted them to the presence of others. Merrick and his party emerged from the tree line, their faces stern and their weapons drawn. The sight of the armed group caused Orion to instinctively emit a low, threatening rumble, a stark contrast to the gentle hums he shared with the children. "Step away from the creature!" Merrick commanded, his voice echoing through the clearing. Eli stood up, placing himself between Orion and the weapons. "No! You don't understand! He's not dangerous! He's hurt and we're helping him!" Merrick eyed the towering figure of Orion warily. "That thing could wipe us out with a flick of its... whatever those are." He gestured towards Orion's limbs. "We can't risk the safety of the entire colony on your say-so, kid." Mia stepped forward, her voice steady despite her fear. "He's intelligent, peaceful. He communicated with us. He's just trying to get home." The tension in the air was palpable as the settlers murmured among themselves, some fearful, others curious. The presence of the creature, so alien yet clearly capable of reasoning and fear, made them hesitate. Seeing the uncertainty among the adults, Eli took a deep breath and addressed the crowd. "Look, I know Orion looks scary, but he's not a beast. He's been sharing his memories with us, showing us his world. He's got a family waiting for him, just like any of us. Please, just give us a chance to prove it." Merrick's expression softened slightly, his resolve faltering as he looked into the earnest, pleading faces of Eli and Mia. He lowered his weapon slightly, still cautious but willing to listen. "All right, kid, you have one day," Merrick finally said, the weight of his decision clear on his face. "Show us what this creature of yours can do. Prove to us that it's not a threat. But if you can't, we're taking matters into our own hands." With that, Merrick and his party retreated, leaving Eli, Mia, and Orion alone once again. The stakes had been set, and the challenge was clear. Eli and Mia looked at each other, their mission now more critical than ever. They needed to find a way to demonstrate Orion's peaceful nature and his worth to the colony, not just for Orion's sake, but for their own and possibly the future relations between their species. The dawn of the next day found Eli and Mia working feverishly alongside Orion. They had less than 24 hours to prepare, to demonstrate convincingly to the colonists that Orion posed no threat. The plan they devised was multifaceted, aimed not only at showcasing Orion's peaceful intentions, but also his potential value to the colony. Their first step was to utilize Orion's ability to project memories and images. These vivid holographic displays could serve as a bridge of understanding, illustrating Orion's background and the peaceful nature of his civilization. Eli hoped that by sharing Orion's personal story, the colonists would see him as an individual with a life and a family, not just an unknown alien. Meanwhile, Mia focused on documenting the advanced environmental technologies inherent in Orion's suit, which could potentially be adapted for use in the colony. She gathered data and samples, preparing to present her findings about how these technologies could improve their agricultural productivity and water purification systems. As midday approached, the colonists began to gather at the edge of the forest, their curiosity piqued by rumors of what Eli and Mia planned to show. Among them was Captain Merrick, still wary but keeping an open mind due to the insistence of some of the other colonists, influenced by their children's fervent discussions about the importance of understanding and cooperation. Eli greeted the crowd, his voice steady despite the fluttering in his stomach. "Thank you for coming," he started. "Today we want to show you who Orion really is and what he brings to us, not just as a visitor but as a potential ally." With a nod from Eli, Orion began to emit a low hum, and the air around him shimmered as he activated the projection capabilities of his suit. The clearing was suddenly alive with scenes from Orion's world, vast oceans beneath golden skies, cities that floated in the air without harming the environment, and Orion's people, similar in form to him, interacting peacefully. The colonists watched, mesmerized by the display. The images were unlike anything they had ever seen, filled with beauty and a clear message of advanced, peaceful civilization. Whispers of awe and wonder spread through the crowd as they saw images of families, much like their own, sharing moments of joy and peace. Mia took the opportunity to step forward. "Orion's technology has capabilities we've just begun to understand," she explained, holding up a device they had adapted from Orion's suit. "This is a water purifier based on the same principles as Orion's life support systems. We've tested it, and it's significantly more efficient than our current systems." She demonstrated the device, pouring dirty water into a container and then filtering it through Orion's technology. The result was clear, clean water, produced in seconds. The practical demonstration added another layer of positive impact to the spectacle of Orion's story. The mood among the colonists shifted perceptibly. What began as suspicion and fear was slowly being replaced by fascination and a cautious optimism. Discussions broke out among small groups, weighing the benefits of what they were learning against their initial fears. Captain Merrick, who had watched the proceedings closely, finally spoke up. This is more than I expected," he admitted, his voice gruff with reluctant respect. "You kids might be onto something here. Maybe we do need to think this through a bit more." Encouraged by Merrick's response, Eli and Mia continued to engage with the colonists, answering questions and facilitating interactions with Orion, who patiently and gently responded to the curiosity of the community. As the sun set, the meeting concluded with a general agreement to take no hostile action against Orion. Instead, they decided to establish a committee to explore how Orion might integrate into their community and what they could learn from him. Eli and Mia, exhausted but relieved, thanked Orion, who in turn expressed his gratitude through a serene melody that seemed to fill the evening air with hope. They had taken a significant step towards not just saving a friend, but possibly enriching their entire community in ways they had yet to fully comprehend. With the community's perception of Orion shifting from fear to cautious acceptance, Eli and Mia saw an opportunity to further integrate Orion into the colony's daily life. They proposed a practical demonstration of Orion's abilities, suggesting that he participate in a community project that would benefit everyone and solidify his position as a valuable ally. The colony had been struggling with a failing irrigation system that was crucial for their agriculture. The system, originally designed to withstand the harsher conditions of Xerxes, was showing signs of wear and tear, and replacement parts were months away on the next supply ship from Earth. Eli suggested that Orion could use his advanced technology and knowledge to repair and improve the irrigation system, providing immediate relief to the colony's food production challenges. Captain Merrick, now more a cautious ally than a skeptic, agreed to the plan. He saw it as a test of Orion's intentions and capabilities. If Orion could help sustain the colony's food supply, it would go a long way in easing the remaining doubts among the settlers. The following morning, Orion, accompanied by Eli, Mia, and a team of the colony's best engineers, approached the central irrigation control station. The engineers were initially hesitant, their pride mingled with curiosity as they watched the towering alien inspect their systems. However, as Orion began to work, gently manipulating the circuitry and enhancing the existing machinery with precise, almost delicate movements, respect replaced skepticism. Orion introduced a series of small bioluminescent organisms into the water supply. These organisms, he explained through the translating device, would not only clean and purify the water more efficiently, but also enrich it with nutrients that promoted plant growth. The engineers watched in awe as the water clarity improved visibly, and tests confirmed the increase in nutrient levels. The improvements were immediate. Within days, the crops showed signs of enhanced growth and vitality, surpassing any previous yields. The colonists were amazed by the transformation. The once struggling fields were now thriving, their plants healthier and more robust than ever. The success of the project led to a celebratory atmosphere in the colony, with Orion at the center of it all, no longer seen as a mysterious outsider, but as a key member of their community. The transformation wasn't just physical. The project fostered a new sense of unity and cooperation among the settlers. They began to see the potential benefits of having Orion around, not just for his technological prowess, but for the exchange of knowledge and culture that his presence offered. As the colony celebrated the success of the irrigation project, discussions began about other ways Orion could assist. Ideas were floated about other environmental control projects and even educational programs where Orion could share his knowledge of the cosmos and advanced sciences. The children of the colony, in particular, were fascinated by Orion, and he showed a gentle patience and fondness for their curiosity, often sitting with them to explain the stars or the physics of his home world. Eli and Mia, seeing the positive changes, felt a deep sense of accomplishment and pride. They had not only helped their friend, but had also opened the door to a broader understanding and acceptance between their people and Orion's. This partnership, which began with mistrust and fear, was blossoming into a promising alliance, potentially beneficial for both sides. As the weeks passed, the colony continued to thrive, and Orion became a symbol of hope and progress. However, despite the successes, Orion's health began to falter. The atmosphere of Xerxes, though breathable, wasn't ideal for his physiology. The colonists noticed that Orion seemed weaker, his movements slower, and his once bright scales had begun to lose their luster. Faced with this new challenge, Eli and Mia realized that helping Orion might mean saying goodbye sooner than they had hoped. They needed to start working on repairing his ship if he was to survive, a task that would require the entire colony's effort and the use of all they had learned from their friend. As the reality set in, the mood among the settlers shifted from celebration to determination. They owed their new prosperity to Orion, and now they had a chance to repay him by giving him a chance to return home. As the realization that Orion's continued survival depended on returning to his home planet settled in, the mood within the colony shifted from the joy of their recent successes to a determined focus on a new, urgent project: repairing Orion's spacecraft. Every available resource and the collective expertise of the colony were mobilized to aid in this endeavor. Orion provided the engineers with detailed schematics of his ship's technology, which was far more advanced than anything the colonists had encountered. Despite the complexity, the colonists were adept and quick learners, having been selected for the colony due to their skills and adaptability. They worked alongside Orion, combining their technology with his to create the necessary repairs. Mia took charge of synthesizing the required materials using both the colony's fabricators and the organic compounds that Orion's technology utilized. This task involved a steep learning curve, but Mia's background in xenobotany became invaluable. She was able to understand and apply Orion's explanations of the biotechnological components needed for the ship. Eli, meanwhile, focused on the energy systems that powered the ship. The power source was unlike anything the colony used, based on a form of fusion that the colonists had only theoretical knowledge of. With Orion's guidance, Eli helped to configure the reactor, amazed at the efficiency and sustainability of the alien technology. As weeks turned into months, the ship slowly came back to life, its systems restored and even improved with the integration of human technology. The colonists worked tirelessly, driven not only by a desire to help Orion, but also by the knowledge that this project pushed the boundaries of their own technological capabilities, providing them with invaluable advancements they could use in the future. During this time, Orion's health continued to decline, making the project increasingly critical. He spent less time on the physical aspects of the repairs and more on transferring knowledge. He held sessions with the colony's scientists and engineers, explaining not just how his technology worked, but also teaching them about the science of his world. Captain Merrick, who had once viewed Orion with suspicion, now saw him as an integral part of their community. He organized shifts and resources, ensuring the project had everything it needed. The former skeptic had become one of Orion's staunchest supporters, often speaking about how this collaboration had forever changed the colony. As the repairs neared completion, a sense of bittersweet anticipation settled over everyone involved. The prospect of saying goodbye to Orion was painful. He had become a friend and a mentor to many in the colony. For Eli and Mia, the thought of his departure was especially hard. They had grown close to Orion, seeing him as a bridge between the unknown and their own potential as a species. Finally, the day arrived when the ship was ready for a test flight. The entire colony gathered to witness the event, a mixture of celebration and farewell. Orion, looking stronger than he had in weeks thanks to the ship's rejuvenated life support systems, addressed the crowd. "I came to your world by accident, but I leave with a purpose." Orion's voice, translated through the device, was filled with emotion. "You have shown me the kindness and curiosity that I always believed was possible between different peoples. I carry with me not just the physical help you have given, but the memories of what we have shared. This is not the end, but a beginning." With a final, sweeping look at the faces of the friends he had made, Orion boarded his ship. The engines hummed to life, a soft glow emanating from the craft as it lifted gracefully into the sky. Eli, Mia, and the others watched as the ship ascended, disappearing into the clouds above. Tears filled their eyes, but there was pride in their hearts. They had done the impossible, bridging worlds through compassion and cooperation. As the ship vanished from sight, a small, shimmering object fell from the sky, landing gently at Eli's feet. It was a seed similar to the bioluminescent organisms Orion had used in the water purifier, only this one was larger and pulsated with a soft light. Orion's final gift. Eli picked up the seed, realizing that it was meant to be planted here on Xerxes, a symbol of Orion's legacy, promising new growth and possibilities, continuing the bridge between worlds that they had all built together. The departure of Orion left a palpable void in the hearts of the Xerxes colonists, but his legacy quickly manifested into a source of profound inspiration and continuous innovation for the entire community. The seed that Orion left behind, pulsating with a gentle, otherworldly glow, became a symbol of the unity and collaboration that had developed between the alien visitor and the human settlers. Under Mia's careful supervision, the seed was planted in the center of the colony's communal garden, a place where everyone could witness its growth and be reminded of what they had achieved together with Orion. The garden was redesigned to accommodate this special addition, with benches and walkways that allowed people to spend time near the growing seed, reflecting on the recent events. As the seed took root and began to grow, it became apparent that it was unlike any other plant on Xerxes. It grew rapidly, its trunk thickening and its height increasing by several inches each day, until it stood as a towering, luminescent tree. Its leaves emitted a soft light during the night, casting a calming blue glow over the garden, and its flowers released a sweet fragrance that had a subtle, soothing effect on the mind and body. The tree soon became a beacon for the colony, not just for its beauty and the peaceful ambiance it created, but also for its unexpected benefits. Scientists discovered that the tree's leaves contained medicinal properties, capable of accelerating healing and boosting the immune system when brewed into a tea. This discovery led to a deeper investigation into other potential uses of the tree's bioproducts. Eli took a particular interest in the tree, spending long hours under its glowing branches, studying its properties and documenting its growth. He saw the tree as a living connection to Orion, a daily reminder of their friendship and the lessons in unity and peace he had imparted. It was under these branches that Eli set up informal classes for the colony's children, teaching them about alien biology, the importance of diversity in ecology, and the ethics of interspecies relations. The tree also inspired the colony to revisit their approach to technology and the environment. With the advancements and knowledge that Orion had shared, they began to implement more sustainable practices throughout the colony. They improved their energy systems, water purification methods, and agricultural practices, integrating biotechnology in ways that reduced their ecological footprint and increased their self-sufficiency. This new focus on sustainability and cooperation attracted attention from Earth and other colonies in the galaxy. Xerxes was no longer just another outpost. It had become a model of successful integration of alien technology and human ingenuity. Delegations from various scientific and diplomatic bodies visited the colony, eager to learn from their experiences and to discuss potential partnerships. As these relationships developed, so did plans for a deeper exploration into space, fueled by the hope of encountering more benevolent civilizations like Orion's. The colony set up a research and communications center dedicated to this purpose, with Eli and Mia playing key roles in its establishment. They used the center not only as a hub for scientific advancement, but also as a meeting place for those who wished to promote interstellar peace and understanding. Years passed, and the memory of Orion, while still vivid in the minds of those who had known him, transformed into a lasting legacy that propelled the colony forward. The tree in the garden stood tall, a constant reminder of the mysterious and gentle giant who had changed their world forever. Eli, now a young man, often stood by the tree, looking up at the stars, wondering about Orion and his distant world. He hoped that one day they would reconnect, not just as two individuals, but as representatives of their civilizations. He believed that the foundation they had built with Orion would one day lead to a greater understanding between the peoples of the galaxy, united by a common desire for peace and mutual respect. The lessons of compassion, curiosity, and courage that Orion brought to Xerxes continued to inspire all who came under the shade of the glowing tree, a beacon of hope and a symbol of the infinite possibilities that lay beyond the stars. Years had passed since the departure of Orion, yet his influence lingered in the hearts and minds of the Xerxes colonists, shaping their community in profound ways. Eli and Mia, now respected leaders in their own right, continued to champion the values of unity, exploration, and cooperation that Orion had instilled in them. The Xerxes colony had flourished, its population growing steadily as more settlers arrived seeking a new life on the frontier. With the guidance of Eli and Mia, the colony expanded its reach beyond the borders of their settlement, establishing outposts and research stations across the planet. These outposts served as hubs for scientific exploration, resource extraction, and cultural exchange, fostering a spirit of collaboration among the diverse inhabitants of Xerxes. One of the most significant developments in the years following Orion's departure was the establishment of the Xerxean Institute for Interstellar Studies, Voyage. Founded by Eli and Mia, along with a coalition of scientists and diplomats from Earth and other colonies, the institute was dedicated to the study of interspecies relations, xenobiology, and the exploration of the cosmos. The institute's flagship project was the construction of a deep space research vessel, equipped with the latest advancements in propulsion, communication, and life support systems. Named the Orion in honor of their departed friend, the vessel represented a new era of interstellar exploration for humanity and its allies. Eli and Mia, now married and expecting their first child, were chosen to lead the maiden voyage of the Orion. It was a momentous occasion, filled with hope and anticipation for what lay beyond the stars. As the sleek silver vessel prepared to depart from Xerxes, a sense of unity and purpose permeated the air, a testament to the legacy of Orion and the enduring spirit of cooperation that he had inspired. As the countdown reached 0, the engines of the Orion roared to life, casting a brilliant light against the dark expanse of space. Eli and Mia stood side by side on the bridge, their hands clasped tightly as they watched their home planet recede into the distance. They were filled with a sense of excitement and wonder, eager to embark on this new chapter of exploration and discovery. As the Orion soared deeper into the cosmos, Eli looked out at the vast expanse of stars, reflecting on the journey that had brought them to this moment. He thought of Orion, their enigmatic friend who had sparked a revolution of thought and action on Xerxes. Though he was no longer with them in body, his legacy lived on in every member of the colony, in every discovery made and every dream pursued. As they ventured into the unknown, Eli vowed to honor Orion's memory by continuing to seek out new worlds, new allies, and new opportunities for cooperation and understanding. For as long as the stars burned bright, the spirit of Orion would guide them, a beacon of hope in the endless expanse of the universe. And so, with hearts full of determination and hope, the crew of the Orion set sail on a journey that would shape the destiny of humanity and the galaxy for generations to come.